I suspect I'm live, boys and girls. This is going to be a little tough today. I've got a lot of things to go over, and I'm going to have to switch some screens. But we're going to deal with a couple of things. First of all, a short recap of yesterday. And then I've got to look at a clip with Leophilius on Smokey, I think John's show, his after show. We're going to go over models and mechanisms just a little bit. And that's kind of a preview of something that Leophilius and I and et al. Are going to go over in a little more detail later today. So that will be after. But first of all, the most important thing that happened yesterday is Dapper Dino did his Raw Matt Has Committed Fraud video at 7 p.m. Central Time. And it was kind of short. It was 10 minutes. It was to the point. He explained what happened. He explained why this is not okay. How Standing for Truth and Raw Matt and John Mad Ducks and Smokey and Otangelo are all putting out various levels of misinformation. Not Otangelo so much. He doesn't do this exactly, but the others, they will put out misinformation. Then they will edit it away and they'll never admit to it. So the people that watched it come away with this belief that this was some actual science. And I think that's kind of the crux of the problem. It culminated with Raw Matt's trying to pretend that he was published in an actual biology journal, and the paper that he tried to publish was so juvenile that I don't think he should ever show his face on YouTube again. Raw Matt said in the Three Stooges review the other night that I looked like I was on my deathbed. And I think that was a result of me saying a couple of times that he looks like he has cancer because of his fruitarian diet. If you look up some of the books he has on Amazon, I don't know, he talks about something about eating raw honey and harvesting himself for like 2 months, and he's running around carrying a big boulder. Like, I imagine him running around carrying this boulder, attacking bees' nests and stealing their fucking honey. But so I guess that was fair. But God, do I look like I'm on my deathbed, or do I look like a 69-year-old man should look after, being out in the sun for 69 years? I have no idea. Anyway, so we have Raw Matt. And that happened yesterday. And then Genetic Engineer replayed the John Maddox debate he did with John Maddox, I think it was the night before. Replayed it on his channel. And that kind of set up a shitstorm, of course. They had to go ahead. Let's see, this is the Godless Engineer replaying the debate. And there were a lot of comments on there, much more intelligent than you would find on Standing for Truth's channel. And then Maddox, right after that, of course, had to do a review. And they did a 4-hour and 30-minute review where they tortured Luca for like 3 hours. That poor man, I don't know how he took the crap they were throwing at him. He was so cool. And he kind of nailed them a few times. But we'll look at a couple of little clips from that. I'm going to have to switch to that. Then Standing for Truth had a debate on Modern Day Debate last night. Again, you just listen to Standing for Truth say the same shit over and over again, not going anywhere. With Derek, anyway, the debate with Derek. And then, of course, let's see, Smokey Saint had an after show, and it was just them, circle jerking again, going on about atheists some more. So let's see, how can we handle this? The first thing we have to do is look at Three Stooges. This was this long rambling thing where they talked about us for 4 hours and picked on anything and everything. Like, God, they keep going on about this. Oh, he hasn't read his books. He hasn't read any of those books. Well, you fuckers, the books you guys read by Dr. Nathaniel Jensen and Sanford don't have any content, okay? They're fluff. They're like reading comic books. You can read them in a fucking afternoon. But who would want to be that bored with lack of information? The books I have, the 2,500 technical books I have, it's not possible for any human being to actually read those because you have to read them and study them assholes. And I have read a few of them. I'm quite a few of them, actually. A certain percentage of them. And I've actually read a bit of every one of them. I've spotted through and picked up what I need, and I study this shit. And I challenge any of you little fucking wussies to come onto my channel and show me how much you know about genetics and biology and neuroscience. Come on, I'm waiting for it. Well, in fact, Nicholas the Proclaimer is going to come on and embarrass me on Saturday morning, I think. Saturday afternoon. I think it's set up for 2 p.m. Central. He's going to embarrass me with his incredible knowledge of biology and my lack of knowledge of biology. So, you know, the joke's going to get old. I've read the fucking books, assholes. So, come on and show me what I don't know. I challenge you, little mothers. Oh, where are we here? Let's see. We're going to stop this screen. And, you know, StreamYard sucks ass. I'll tell you the truth. It could be better. It could be better. Chrome tab. I'm going to have to switch to OBS Studios, maybe pre-record some of this stuff so it isn't so much torture for viewers. All 17 of you who watch these weather reports. Three Stooges. Let's share the audio. Where are we here? No, the part I really want to play here is this right here.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I mean, the irony for me on this stuff is, okay, so pre my brain surgery, right? Back when I was running my software company, the dev shop, my nickname was literally Alpha Wolf. And I was one of the Alpha Wolf.
Anyway.
And
hence the icon for today's production. We decided to call him Beta Wolf. You know, stupid wolf, that's a rock. Fits John to the T because he reads all these papers and he sees these words, programming, information, logic, code, pragmatics, semantics, syntax. He doesn't understand what they mean. He's never actually understood the papers. I have the papers here. We're going to be going over some of them by Adami and Kunin and others. And we'll tell you that John is just not getting it. He hears these words and he mistakes them for the common idea of the word that he has. And this kind of sets him off. And he thinks he has something with intelligent design. I mean, this is just stupid. And we have to show, you know, and I wouldn't call him stupid. I'd call him ignorant if he weren't such a cocky asshole. So he deserves the word stupid. That's willfully ignorant again. So he picks up the rock. He thinks it's a piece of meat, but it's not. So he gets it all wrong. So anyway, there's that, and we have to go through this torturous thing where we stop the screen, share the screen, pick a Chrome tab. Let's see. Pick a Chrome tab. This is very bad, guys. I apologize. Okay. Now the fun part here, I think there's a fun part here. Smokey got nuts.
You know what, Luca? This is irritating the piss out of me. You know, we had the exact miracle happen. It's recorded. You know what, Luca? This is irritating the piss out of me. You know, we had the exact miracle happen. It's recorded. It's put down in history. It's carried forward through time. And you're saying, oh, we need to have it happen again. It needs to happen in front of Luca because he's a shallow-minded idiot cynic. You know what? I'm done, dude. I'm out. This is stupid. You know what, Luca? This is irritating the piss out of me. You know what, Luca?
I love Smokey. He and I had a nice exchange in the comment section of I think the Three Stooges video. We were talking some deep philosophy. He went off on what the hell? He was like slinging insults, and then so I decided to play with him back and see if I could get thrown off his comments. And you got to hand it to him. He will not throw you off no matter what you say to him. But so we kind of went back and forth. Then he says, oh, the hypocrisy of you atheists, you're complaining because we're picking on you, and me being a meth head and whatever, pudding and all that bullshit. And then I come back at him with some insults. Well, yeah, that's I mean, if that's the conversation we're having, if we're gonna trade insults, well, let's make it fun. Anyway, worth checking out that comment. But so then Leophilius came into the room after a lot of garbage with Luca. I think we're going to review this whole thing. And
how's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. Hello, back and forth.
Can everybody hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. There was one thing that I've been listening for a while. I've been doing some stuff on brilliant.org, just kind of listening and then chiming in here and there in the side chat. There's something that a point that I would like to make, and that is that it seems to me that you guys are stating that because Luca has a model but no mechanism for how the model could have occurred, that therefore it's not reasonable to assume that model has a reality and actually explains things. But
no,
correct me if I'm wrong, John.
Okay, so what Leophilius is asking here, very, very good question. I was really, really happy with this. We have a model that, this happened naturally and through chemistry. We don't know the exact mechanism yet.
But it seemed to me that you just stated that you don't have a mechanism for how your model of God doing this could have played out. So how come we can't have a model without a mechanism, but you can't?
Well, that would be a belief too, Leo. So you would still be believing in abiogenesis.
Okay, so this is the thing with ID, and this is why ID is not science, and this is why it keeps getting kicked out of schools and kicked out of Loki. Shut the hell up. Anyway, sorry, I have to talk to my cat. This is why it keeps getting kicked out as not science, because they will not pick a spot. They will not pick a when, a where, and a how and tell us. All they do is they say, well, some magic happened somewhere. They won't even tell us where the magic happened. They won't tell us if it happened at the Big Bang, or if it happened when the Earth was formed, or if it happened after protocells were created, or if it happened right at the point where eukaryotic cells were created, or maybe multicellular animals. The creationists are a little more honest about this, in that they just say, well, it all happened in 6 days, 6,000 years ago. They actually do put their foot in it. But these ideas like Smokey and I think Otangelo, they never actually pick a spot or talk about the mechanism. All they want to talk about is that we don't know our mechanism. We both have models. Neither of us have a complete mechanism worked out, but at least we're working on it. We have a lot of pieces. If you research, go to Google Scholar and take a look at abio research, you are going to find a great deal. But let's see how John Maddox misunderstands this whole thing.
Point that I made. Why can't we have a model without a mechanism, but you can?
Okay, so I really don't understand how atheists manage to be this stupid and not listen to the words that come out of our mouths, and that we repeat the arguments over.
So if I'm just going to hear ad hominems, I'm going to leave.
So how is it stupid to keep asking them to pick a spot? Now, if you get into a conversation with John Maddox and he starts asking you about abiogenesis, within 2 sentences, he'll start talking about ribosomes, which are much, much later in the picture, much after the protocell has turned into valid or viable prokaryotes. And then he'll rush ahead to the complex ribosomal process of eukaryotes and even animals today, which is much evolved. So in order for us to explain anything to these poor, ignorant fools, they have to pick a spot and ask us about a particular part of the mechanism. And we're not going to be able to tell them, oh, this is how the cell formed. We're going to be able to tell them how this chemical reaction happened or that chemical reaction happened. And all of that is going to be done in laboratories in controlled situations where you work out each step, each point. And that was where the pudding came in again with Tony Puddinghead, Tony Anthony Maurice, where he thought that we should just take some biomolecules, put them into a flask and shake them and wait. He thought the prebiotic earth was this big pile of pudding with a consistent mixture of these molecules, and that somehow random chance, as they like to say, put it all together. No, that's not how shit happens. We must talk about microstates. It's amusing that he had talked to Fuzz Rana so much about microstates. I think he asked him, and he asked James Tour about microstates. And I'm going to take credit for that because I'm the one that went after Tony with the microstates. And I think in his heart of hearts, he knows that he's the one with fucking pudding in his head. Let's see here. We have Ian Chen on board. So actually I got you before you went to sleep, eh? On the wrong side of the earth, Mr. Chen. None of his mtDNA sources say what it says it does, at least the ones from... Oh, are you talking about Standing for Truth? Standing for Truth and Raw Matt really screwed up on the mtDNA stuff, but that is something that we're going to have to take apart over a long period of time. Anyway, let's see what else Maddox has to say here.
I'm going to respond.
I don't think they're constructive to a civil discourse.
I'm going to respond. I'm just being very direct in the fact that you came in here to make an assertion.
I didn't make an assertion.
Dude,
he asked a question, not an assertion.
Are you going to let me respond? I shut up and let you talk. The standard talking point from atheists such as yourself is that there is no mechanism. Therefore, God of the gaps. You guys make this assertion in a never-ending.
I haven't made that assertion.
You literally just made the equivalent of that.
I asked a question. I didn't make an assertion.
You literally okay.
Yeah, this is going to be a word salad from Leo because this is what he does.
You can't have a model without a mechanism.
Okay, I'm trying to get an answer. I'm getting to the point here. Okay. My model is that an intelligent agent with the knowledge of the chemistry.
I just want to point out that Tony accused him of a word salad. Well, Beta Wolf is the king of the word salad, and it's kind of ironic that he's telling Leophilius that just asking a question is a word salad. And Tony, he definitely doesn't do word salad. He says the same thing over and over again, like 500 times. And it's identical. I think he does more like a word noodle. I think we could call that a word noodle.
Requirement and the processes and the understanding of the foreseen outcome is required. That is the model that is required. Now, from a manipulation of the chemical processes that have to do it, that's what has to be figured out.
Exactly.
Yeah, John, that's what the fuck we're figuring out. Okay, do you get it? That's the mechanism.
But
we believe that it was natural process, so we don't know how,
and let me finish.
But it has to be figured out. Dude. So you
okay. Now, to answer
exactly.
But
we believe that it was natural process, so we don't know how. Exactly. But we believe that it was natural process, so we don't know how.
And let me finish.
Is that what a triggered theist sounds like? I think Leophilius got under his skin right away. But if you ask John a question or you ask him for a source, like, okay, yesterday he brought it up again. He said that like the January edition of Nature has 17 papers. And I don't know. I looked at the contents of every January issue and I cannot find a place where there's 17 papers that would be talking about, I think it was the how we've gone wrong because we're using evolution to study medicine or something like that. I don't know. Maybe somebody please fucking help me because John refuses to tell me which issue this is in. I guess I could search February and maybe I could look at 20. I don't know. It just, oh my God. Yeah, they all sound like Jason Hazard. Let's see what we got here. You guys are in my chat. I'm not paying attention. Anyway, see what else he had to say.
But it has to be figured out.
Dude.
So you
okay. Now, to answer your other part of your question, which is what I was trying to get to before you start talking, is you asked how is it okay for you guys to not know how it's done? And you obviously, once again, like every atheist, missed the entire point.
Okay, this is what we got to figure out in the stream later on today. We got to figure out what the hell their point is, because it's buried, it's obscured in, I don't know,
which is
idiocy.
That it is not that there aren't chemical bonds that can be formed in specific sequences and structure and timing and everything of the nature that enable them to reach the end outcome. That is not the point. It is that those are not remotely plausible.
Yeah. How do you know that, John, unless you know exactly what the pathway and the mechanism was? And that is the crux of abiogenesis research, is to figure out a massive, astronomical amount of paths or pathways, edges between nodes, my microstates. Okay, back to that. That's what we have to figure out. You can't make that assessment that it's implausible because you don't know shit. I mean, you have to learn the science. You have to go read the papers. I have no idea why you haven't gone to Google Scholar and looked at abiogenesis research in the last 10 years like we are doing, because there are tens of thousands of papers out there that tell you about all of this. If that's your damn point. But let's contrast it with what you think. God magicked it. He just did it. You know, it's like, oh, is that how it happened? God just did it. When did he do it? What did it look like when he did it? How did he do it? Did he do it just a little bit? I mean, is he still doing it today? Is he still moving molecules around with his little God fingers? I mean, for Christ's sake, you guys have the burden of a model and a mechanism too. Your model is granted much simpler than ours. It's in your stupid book. You think it's a science book. I mean, it's the Bible, you know, probably has a lot of really good wisdom and literature in it. But it's metaphorical. Get over it, you guys, and stop this assault on science, and we'll leave you alone. But oh my God! Anyway, John was pretty triggered here, and I'm hoping that Leophilius and Walker and Immutable and I can get together this afternoon, dig a little deeper into this model and mechanism thing, because it's fair to specify what we would have to do in order to figure out a natural solution to all of this. These guys, they just go nowhere with it. Anyway, so that's a preface. And the other thing I want to do today is it has been decided that I'm going to do the paper trail, I think, by myself. So I want to do there are two papers. One is the both Royal Society. One is by Kunin, and that one is on information. There's a preface or a pre-paper by Adami. Not sure if I should do that one first. And that one is on entropy and information, and that kind of sets you up, and it's a real good read. And I will link those papers in the paper trail thing that I do a little later on. Yeah, God. Actually, God got tired magicking. I mean, he had to rest. You know, and this is supposed to be a spaceless, timeless, like omnipotent, omniscient being. I don't know. Anyway. Okay. Speed, you did it again. Empty stream, get my hopes high. Oh no. Yeah. This paper trail thing, we've been trying to work it out. We're shooting for higher production values. We're going to go with this kind of crap, right? We're just going to try to get the information out there. And what I'm hoping is that in the comments, people can ask questions or level criticisms, and then maybe we can do further hangouts on and elaborate on it, maybe do a little bit of drawing. At some point, we're actually going to get our shit together, understand how to use OBS Studio and the other software, and come up with some more polished content, hopefully. But, you know, it's going to take time. My first video is on May 6th. I don't know what I'm doing yet. It takes about a year, I think, to get any kind of and God, Erica, I hate you sometimes. God, she is so goddamn good at what she does. She did a video yesterday, and why didn't I get it? For some reason, I'm not getting notifications from YouTube, but she did a video yesterday on her first chapter on Standing for Truth's book. I don't know if I see it here. Anyway, I will try to link some videos for you guys a little bit later on, and hopefully we're going to get the guys out of bed and we'll do some kind of hangout. We're going to do some reviewing. The Three Stooges thing, I don't know, maybe we'll review that on Saturday Night at the Atheist. It'll all be fun. But anyway, hope you like my picture of Beta Wolf trying to eat a rock, because that is the metaphor for John Maddox, Mad Ducks, Mad Duck Ox, now Beta Wolf. Metaphor for him reading a paper from 10,000 feet above the paper, gliding over the top, grabbing a few words and saying, oh, it's in any other context. It's whatever. I got to go. See you guys. See you, Ian. See you, RJ. Thank you for waking up. RJ, what the hell? You're probably still up. You probably haven't gotten to bed yet, right? I don't believe you got up this early. Ian, you're on the wrong side of the earth. I'm sorry. Your side's the wrong side. Our side's the right side. The side over here where we have like exceptional politicians like Donald Trump has got to be the right side, right? Anyway, goodbye, guys. Later.